video cast. We are live now. Okay, great. Everybody, welcome to another Saturday event. We have John Marquise here from the Shield. That's supposed to be where the applause comes in, right? With the noise and what have you. So we are having a guest speaker here. And Gabriel, thank you for helping host. So, we might as well dive right into it, Gabriel. I don't know if Gabriel's able to tell me what's going on here, with the questions, but if we have any questions, I'm willing to answer them. And Gabriel, if you could tell me if there's any comments and questions along the journey. So, guys, welcome. My name is Jason Ferrero. I'm a top life and annuity producer for the past 16, 17 years in the industry. I started back when quoting tools weren't here and had to do apps on paper, and now it's all electronical and it's a whole different era. So I want to welcome John. John, thank you for coming to the show. Thank you very much for showing today.
You're very welcome. Glad to be here, man.
Thank you, buddy. And John is CEO and part owner of the Shield. John, I'm going to let you tell a little bit about yourself because your background is extensive and I don't want to get too, so if you could keep it short and sweet, how would you explain John's career?
Well, just like anybody that's been in the industry 41 years, ups and downs, right? Had very successful career. And when it came down to the pandemic took me a step back. And I had to figure out, after being in this industry 34 years, I had to figure out what I was going to do. I learned how to use Zoom for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And I was able to practice and do my business very successfully from the pandemic to now. Again, I've been in the industry 41 years. I'm glad to be here, sir. I've had a lot of ups and downs, but I've had many years of success. And like I said, rebuilt the engine. After 2022, I've kind of invented a process called the Financial Shield, which obviously we're going to talk a little bit about today.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. I mean, you have done so much in the industry. I'm so happy to be a part of what you're doing into the future, helping people, and not just the agents, but the prospects, retirees, Americans in general who just don't understand what value life insurance can bring to their retirement planning. And we're here to tell you today that, I have over 2,800 clients I have nobody calling me worried about their money. They do not participate in the downsides of the market. They only participate in the upsides. It's a phenomenal product source that we have. And then we're leaving tax-free retirement behind it. It doesn't take any food off the table.
That's right.
For those of you that waited too long to get insurance and you think you can't get it, you can. We have products for everyone, every lifestyle, every situation. And we just want to help people. If somebody thinks that I'm dealing with people that have only enough money to leave $5,000 behind. But when I talk to the beneficiaries, they say thank you, because I always write the policy and I'll tell the beneficiary that this individual has a policy on them, but John does a little bit more extensive work on individuals in a different era and category of people. So, Harsh is here, guys. As we know, everybody's used to Harsh. He has to have his coffee first. He has to fix his hair. So we will give him a pass again today. That's our Harshie.
I'm so
But
sorry,
how long
guys.
we've been doing this, Harsh? How long? We've been doing this for what? 2 months now? 3
Yeah,
months.
it's been 2.5 months now.
So I want to thank
really
everybody for coming by and sticking with us all the way through, man. Thank you. We're just getting
Yes, that's
started.
right. And John, I really appreciate you joining, man. I know it's 8 o'clock in the morning over
Oh
there,
my
but
goodness, yeah, a little earlier than normal.
I really, really appreciate, man, because
I imagine
I
the
know
West Coast time. West Coast is 7 or 6 actually.
that's right. That's right.
Right.
And one of the biggest thing is that apart from this, we're doing it for 2 months now. Rather than, I'm very happy to see John over here, and because Jason is also very much happy because I was talking to him last night and he's saying, Harsh, we got John over here. And of course, for the Shield itself, this can be a good marketing stunt we can do, and people can understand what it's along the way. And you can share your experience where Jason can also put some value inside it. And this becomes a healthy conversation for each and every agent who wants to know more, and this is going to be a fruitful outcome for all of us, right? So that's
Absolutely.
what I am planning to do for the Shield as well for the YouTube channel. But as you know, John, it takes time of you and Victor. But let's get started, okay? I'll Okay, the first question is, hi Jason, good morning. I am from Florida itself, and hi John. What do you do? That's for John, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I do is the part of the invention is there's a philosophy. So first of all, let me frame it this way: 48% of everybody in this country that needs life insurance doesn't own it. So the first thing is to get the people that need it, who don't necessarily want it, but get them to understand that needing life insurance because of the beneficiaries, we got to get a sales force out there to help the 48% of the people that need it. And what Jason is doing is a phenomenal job, because what Jason's doing is catering to those people that need it, especially in a particular age group, right, Jason?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what
Yes.
we do is we're really interested in the 52% of the people that do own it. And I'm going to say something bold. What I do is very unique, because 52% of the people that own life insurance essentially own the wrong kind. And what do I mean by that? It's not the product itself. Would you rather have a policy that pays whether you live or die, or would you rather have a policy that pays if you die only? Think about that for a second. I go crisscross across the country in talk shows and everything we're doing. We're talking about the people that own it, that have the wrong kind.
Yeah.
And what is the right kind? The right kind is the one that you have that basically pays whether you live or die. Now, there's a lot of agents that sell that, and there's a lot of books that talk about this. The problem is, if you buy a policy that pays if you live or die, and you have an event happen, you get sick, and you use the benefits of the policy, you lose the policy. So imagine being 40 years old. You got the national statistic is you have a 5 times greater chance of getting sick than dying. So it's important to have something, especially if you're a senior, in case you die, if you're going to be a burden on your family. But I'm talking about people, people that have salaries over $100,000. They've got, $1 million of coverage they need to have. And yet they have coverage, but they only have the one that pays if you die. So when I found out that some of the people I was doing business with were using the benefits, I thought I was doing the greatest job in the world, because somebody had cancer and I delivered a check for $800,000 for being alive. Listen, folks, you're alive and you get cancer and you get a check for $800,000 out of $1 million policy. Here's the problem it creates. You're alive, you're 50 years old, and you no longer have life insurance. You don't have tax-free retirement. You don't have more living benefits. So the whole thing of the Shield is, what could possibly happen to you between your age right now and 100? And you could have long-term care needs. You need tax-free retirement. You need living benefits, but one policy doesn't do it, folks. And so what I did is I developed a 3-dimensional model where people actually buy 3 policies. They don't buy more coverage. They just take the coverage they have, and we split it in 3 different arenas and get them more coverage, but it's about living benefits. And that's our story. And we're going massively to the market, and no company in America, except for where Jason and I are involved in, market 3 policies to an individual. Now, we're not trying to sell you more policies. We're selling a concept, and we call that the financial shield, which Harsh and Jason and a few hundred people right now at the moment are unleashing this across the entire country. So again, thanks for the question. I know that was a winded explanation, but that's what we do. We help people, whether they live too long, get sick, or die too soon, in all
That's
3
right.
arenas. So
Nice. Nice.
thank you.
And John, whenever we ask questions on this podcast, I don't take names because people have crazy names on YouTube, right?
Right.
Cat walking on the road, guy jumping from buildings, something like that. And these names are crazy. So we
Yeah.
don't take the names. So that's the rule, okay? So there are more questions coming in, Jason. Like,
All
The
right,
first question
great.
comes in.
Wonderful, guys.
Oh, when should I start my retirement plan? That's the first question itself. When should I start planning for my retirement?
I'll let the guest take that over.
I, you know, as early as you possibly can.
Right. Yeah.
I learned a secret when I was 25 years old. I got into this industry at age 25. I'm 67 now. But one of the secrets I learned, and it stayed in my head forever, is I had a table. And let's just say I'm just making up a number, but I had a table that if you invested $500 a month when you're 25 years of age, or not five, yeah, 500 a month for 25 years of age, and you did it for 40 years, and you had a 7% rate of return, you would end up with something like $1 million. So that was kind of cool, but it's the cost of not doing it.
Yeah.
For every 5 years that you don't invest moving forward, you lose half your retirement.
Wow.
So if you start at 25 and put 5,000 a year in, and at age 30, you would have $1 million at age 25. At age 30, you would end up with 500,000. At age 35, you'd end up with 250,000. At age 40, you'd end up with 125. At age 45, you'd end up with 75K. For every 5 years, whatever the number is, if you do a consistent monthly amount, you cut your retirement in half every 5 years. So I was fortunate enough to start at 25 because I learned that even if it was a little bit of money, $50 a month, you lose money if you don't start early. Time is your enemy. Most of the people I talk to, if they're not already in a 401k, they're just starting at age 46, 45. And that's a good age to start, but you've lost 3/4 of the money you could have had. And people say, what if I dump in all the money and catch up? It's not that, it's the magic of compound interest that you lost in that 5-year period. You can't just dump the money in and get back to where you think you are. So as early as possible is the answer.
Okay, that's a good answer, John. I really, really like it. So I hope the person who asked the question gets it right. And the only difference is John itself has an idea about the market, because I'm not saying that John is a mastermind in this. I only value the knowledge that John provides
Can't
for
hear
me.
you.
John, can you hear me?
I can.
I don't know. Something's wrong with Jason, I guess. John can hear me, Jason. Okay, I'll just continue it. Okay, so there are more questions, John. Like, how much money do I need for retirement comfortably? And I live in Ohio. This is the question.
Well, there's a general rule in the industry. It used to be 4%. You can never run out of money if you take 4% of your money out on an annual basis. So the old rule was if you have $1 million and you can take out 40%, 4%, that's $40,000 a year. That was the old
Okay.
rules. The new rules are they've moderated it to about 2% of your income. So if you can live on 20,000 a year at 2%, then you're never going to run out of money. The problem is 20% isn't enough to replace your
I
income.
think are you getting mic problems? I don't have his mic again.
I can hear. John can hear me.
Yeah,
Can you hear me, Jason?
the
I
problem's on
can, but
your
I can't hear John now.
The
Okay,
problem's
you
on your
can.
side, Jason. We hear
You're
you
gonna have to
fine.
tell him. I've had to hop off and hop back on. I don't know. As long as he didn't touch his mute button, he might have to hop back off and hop back on.
No, John is here perfectly, and I guess there
I
is
can't
some
hear him
problem.
though. Okay,
You can
so
hear me, right?
to get his question answered, yes. When do you start for retirement? You should have came out of the womb with money being installed into something that it was compounding interest. We got to take advantage of compounding interest, and we find simple solutions to do that with small monthly increments of cash placed into a policy that will compound you interest, even if it was just a whole life policy. I just had a woman that I'm 1035 exchanging. She started a policy in 1991. It's $25,000 she got back in 91. Now it's accumulated $25,000. and the carrier was still charging her premiums, but for whatever reason, they were charging her premiums and the money's not going up. The cash is not building up at State Farm. So I'm transferring it into a whole life, single premium whole life. And now her family has $40,000 in death benefit. But she also is accumulating cash value. So she had no idea that she had that money. And it just happens overnight, guys. If you're young out there, you just take advantage of the compounding interest that these insurance products allow you to participate in. And you have a challenge. It's to secure yourself from the volatility of the market. Be prepared if Social Security is not there. And you should take this very seriously. Very seriously.
That's really true. That's really understandable. And John, do you want to add something on this, or else we have to go on next question then?
Just really quick, because the question was talking about like where and the amount of money you need for retirement.
I can't hear him.
And you should be very diversified. And once a question I'm sure will come up about taxes, we can talk about that when that question comes up. But you should be diversified. You should own life insurance is an asset class, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a death benefit if marketed properly. And again, it depends how you're marketing, whether you're marketing as a death benefit, that's fine. And that's for certain people. But if we're talking about retirement, it can become a very major part of your retirement circle, because the money inside of a contract is tax-free. Tax-free growth, tax-free, potential tax-free distributions. And essentially, there's creditor protection in a lot of these plans, depending on what state you're in.
That's right. Jason, if you're still here, there's one more question which talks about is that what's the difference between the 401k and an IRA typically? That's the question they're asking.
Well,
Jason?
Jason's not on because I think he's having audio problems for some reason.
John, you can take this one. It will be better.
What's the difference between a 401k is a company sponsored plan that's pre-taxed. So if you have $100,000 and you have a 10% contribution, your gross taxable income will drop by the amount that you put in. The difference is in an IRA, you have certain limits. You have limits of how much money you can put in. An IRA is an after-tax contribution that's deductible. So when you put the money in, you put $10,000, or you can't even put $10,000 in an IRA on an annual basis. When you put $5,000 in an IRA, you go to your tax man. Your tax man deducts the $5,000 from your taxes, and you don't pay tax on it. So an IRA is an individual account that you can have. The 401k is an employer-sponsored plan where they can even match what you put in. So it just depends. Most jobs have 401ks.
Perfect. Jason, can you hear me?
Check. Finally, I can hear everybody now. Thank you.
Okay. So John answered the question. The question was itself, Jason, that the difference between the 401k and the IRA, because John explained it really perfectly and cleanly, because there are people who understand the difference, but the way that John explains it, it was too clean, like smooth like a butter. So I appreciate it, John. Thank you very much. Next question is that should I pay off my debt before retirement or after, Jason?
Boy, that's not a hard question to answer at all, guys. So you would like to be debt free in the journey to retirement. Debt is something that is crippling people at retirement, and they're accumulating it in sometimes the wrong way. Now, if you've accumulated it in statute of having a mortgage at retirement to still pay off, you have equity existing in there into your existing life insurance and retirement plans. That is good. All to say that is great to have. However, I would prefer that everybody challenge themselves to have all debt paid earlier than retirement, before a 10-year period, and really hammer the money into retirement and take that last 10 years of compounding interest. Instead of making it for debt, you want to utilize that last 10 years and compound interest. You got the last 10 years of your life before you retire, utilize that for compounding interest and get yourself a beautiful nest egg that will last you. I just did a birthday party with my girl's dad. He's 98 years old. He's showing us a traffic ticket. So that means he got a speeding ticket at age 98, guys. So people are living longer, you know, and as much as people want to suggest that they're not, they are, you know, they are. So my theory is get all debt paid down and put a system together that helps you pay your debt down. If you got credit card issues, I've used Lexington Law, has been very helpful to me. I don't know if anybody else has any suggestions, but Lexington Law was excellent in helping me pay down creditors that I didn't need to pay back because it was wiped off the credit. And I went from a 400 something to over 800 in score in a 1 and a year half period. And it's $50 a month to work with them.
Hey, I just want to add to that, Jason.
Yeah.
And I learned this very early in the game too. I've seen people that they've got 50,000, 40,000, 30,000 in debt, and they got 30,000 sitting in the bank. And they go, John, I've got 30,000 in savings. You don't, folks. If you have 30,000 in debt and you have 30,000 in savings, you're at zero. And if you're not getting down the debt or getting rid of the debt, and you're just out there, you know, just dripping with debt, you're kidding yourself. You can never save if you've got too much debt.
Exactly.
You can't eat the elephant whole.
Right.
That's a good one. That's a good one, John. And as per your experience, both of you, like Jason and John, okay, there is a question that when should I claim my social security, and have you guys claimed yours? So
Well,
I don't know.
Well, Jason, they're thinking you're an old person, man.
Yeah, hey, man. You know, lay off, guys.
I mean, tell everybody how old you are, Jason.
You do the math. I was born in 1975, and I'm a Libra, by the way. So that makes me 50, baby.
Right. So for those folks on that question, I can attest to the question.
I'm going to leave this one to John, okay?
Yeah, I'm 67 years old. So I started my...
He doesn't act that way at all, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a couple of options. There's something on your Social Security report that says full retirement age. And people misinterpret that number because you can start taking Social Security at 62 and a half. If you take Social Security at 62 and a half, you better not have a job, because we have many people that started their Social Security early and are still working, and their Social Security virtually disappears to nothing. So the time that you might want to think about taking the Social Security is when you are 60, when you are at full retirement age. My full retirement age was 66 and 6 months. Now, for every year I wait till 70, I get 8% more money with inflation. So if I do the math, I can figure out what my approximate Social Security would be if I waited till 70. But I do math, folks. That's like waiting 3.5 years that I could lose my full retirement, which is like $3,200 a month. And if you do the math, $3,200 a month times 12 is over 36,000 times 4 years. It's 120,000 I can have now instead of waiting to take it at age 70, which I'll have more for the rest of my life. And I look at the break even, and the break even
the math makes sense, right?
Is like 83, 84 years old before I actually get ahead.
Yeah.
And
don't forget, too, added in, John, people are skipping past the knowledge that they should have on spousal benefits for Social Security when you're alive.
Absolutely.
That's a huge number.
You can get half. My wife gets half of my Social Security.
Exactly.
And she's only qualified for $800 a month. She's getting $1,600 a month.
So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is if John's at $2,000 a month per se in his Social Security, or anybody is, and your wife is at $700 a month, and you're claiming Social Security, she's actually eligible for one half of yours, since hers is whole is lower than your one half. So she should be getting $1,000. So you increase your household income by $300 a month. So don't forget about Social Security spousal benefits added in. Go to ssa.gov to check that out, or call us. Call me, in fact. I'll help you handle that deal.
And the other thing is, Jason, I have software that actually calculates Social Security. So
fantastic.
I help my clients with software and kind of give them a general idea of what's going to happen to them and what's the best way to go. So appreciate that question.
Wonderful.
That's a good one, yeah. Guys, you are a great combination. Like, our audience are gonna love John because they're gonna demand him for every single week. Like, we want John and Jason both, right? So it's a good one. It's a really good one. So the question is, how much should I keep in emergency savings after retirement if something wrong happens to my family? And his name is David, okay? He has a clean name, so I'm gonna say his name, okay? Yeah.
Hi, David. Well, David, for me, it's how much you should keep in emergency funds in retirement.
That's right, yeah.
It's all kind of calculated to be emergency funds. If it's long as it's, pure and you can access it, I wouldn't leave anything to access too quickly with the temptation of having large sums of money at the control of an ATM machine. I would just have it controlled under and it all depends on the demographics of an individual's household income, taxations, timeline, to live, debt ratio to income, things like that. So, I don't know, John, if you have a percentage per se.
It's about normally when we're dealing with some of the programs we have. Again, we have buckets. We have buckets that are tax free. If you have a tax-free bucket, you can access money anytime. As a matter of fact, I'm going to teach everybody a little secret here. How would you like to hear about this, Harsh? Do you folks realize how a Roth IRA works? Most individuals don't know how a Roth IRA works. If you have money in a Roth IRA, you're contributing after-tax dollars into a Roth. Let's say you're 50 years old, 60 years old, you're putting money in a Roth IRA. You're 50 years old, you're putting money in a Roth IRA, and you have an emergency. Do you realize that you can access your Roth IRA, the actual contributions, anytime during the life of that Roth IRA? Income tax.
There you go. That's what I meant, yeah.
That's a great emergency fund to have.
That's right.
See, and then, but it's usually 6 months of income is a decent.
Yeah, exactly right. I just don't want people losing out on the fact that depending on size of that number, that you could be compounding interest on that number. So as long as you have access to it, it's all emergency funding, guys. So don't lose the fact that you can lose money by sitting something in under your pillow when you could have it earning interest for you.
Yeah, and in another Saturday meeting, I'll teach people the 6 sources of tax-free income, and most people don't know how to get tax-free.
Wow, everybody's saying 6 sources
of tax-free income. Yes.
One of the guys sending an emoji of getting excited and clapping. I don't know.
Oh, thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.
They're excited from right now, John.
Who else can we help, Harsh? Who else is next?
Let me check. Because I'm switching between my 2 phones because the questions are on this one and this is on another one.
We're going to find a way for Harsh to fix this, everybody. Comment if you want Harsh to be faster on his question.
Oh, my God. The question is Medicare enough to cover my healthcare expenses?
No.
No.
You need to add supplemental. You need to add supplemental.
Okay. And he's saying that I have other additional policies as well. Would that cover my accident or any kind of a health issue which comes up into the future? That's the complete question.
Well, I'm going to answer that with a question for the gentleman or whoever's on asking the question. If your policies are not properly structured, the answer is absolutely no.
That's right.
You have the kind of insurance, life insurance, that pays whether you live or die.
these are the individuals, Harsh, that I would like to communicate with one-on-one and review what they have. I
Yep.
will contact your carrier with you, which is legal, if you give me permission to talk on your behalf, and we will figure out exactly what you have. And now's the time to do it. Do not procrastinate on this, whoever you are. Harsh, make sure that they can contact me, please.
For sure, they have their email, your email, not mine, and your cell
Where's it
phone
at
number.
that they can see it? Guy,
It is
whoever
in the
that was, I want
description.
to speak to you.
It is in the description, so they can find out over there. Okay, so no worries with that. And one more thing is coming up over
Let's
here
put it
in the
in the
future.
comment too section if you could. Can we type it in there too? Just so it's
Gabriel
an
is
easier.
doing that same thing. Don't worry.
Oh,
That's why
thank you,
Gabriel is here.
Gabriel. Yes, thanks, sorry.
The question is, should I invest? Should I continue investing after I retire?
I
That's the
think you
main
kind of
question.
are investing at all times if it's in retirement funding products. Short resources are out there that yes, you should be. But the question stands: do you have an income anymore to continue to put this into a product that would earn you interest? So I want everybody to know yes is the answer. I should think you would leave a legacy behind too. Who has the two of you higher Social Security incomes out of the two partners in the home? Are you going to leave the wife with a debt? Are you going to leave the kids with the fact that probate thresholds in your area are probably $40,000 to $75,000, and you have to be prepared for a lot of things. So, yes, continue that route, and John's going to have his own take on this, but I
Well,
think it matches mine also. It's
yeah,
just going to get more
with a
detailed.
slight twist.
Yes.
You don't really need to. If you can invest after you retire, that's fine. I
That's what I
find
mean.
most
Right. Yeah.
clients aren't in a position
Right.
for extra money because you're retiring on less money than what you made.
Right.
So imagine you work your entire life and then you're retiring on less money you made. Our goal is to have you make just as much money in retirement.
That's correct.
Part
Yeah.
of the way that you can do that is you got to control taxes.
Gotcha.
That's the big issue. So we're involved in what's called strategic Roth conversions. You got to get to be a tax-free position because the hurricane is coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, big.
Trains
Huge.
leaving the station, and if you're not properly structured tax-wise, you're going to get killed.
Right.
So yeah, you can invest, but you should also convert. You should be strategic. You should put more money
So
in
he,
tax-free vehicles.
okay, John, that's a good one. That's really nice. And
These
he's
are no
asking,
cost illustrations for everybody, too. We can give you the roadmap. And even if you don't choose to work with us, you still have the roadmap. It doesn't cost you anything to take a visual on the historics of what the product's going to share with you, of what you lost out on already, not doing it this way. So a lot of people are so shocked when I show them the illustrations. It's like they don't even know that this has been going on. How to protect themselves and that their annual average over a 10-year period, interest compounding is averaging 10% annually over a 10-year period. I didn't say it's every year that you're getting 10% returns, but over the average over a 10-year period, you can average close to that and double your money every 7 to 9 years, you know?
the question is adding up. Okay, the person who asked this previous question, he's asking one more question on this. Is that he has a certain amount of money, and he's
Yeah.
asking, where should I invest it? Is it the stock market, or should I create an FD account in a bank so that I can get interest? So he's asking questions to you.
I just
Like,
want to put my 2 cents on it, and then John can handle it from there. But do you have a chance to be if you cannot afford to lose 50% of that money tomorrow? Then no, you do not want to play in the stock market unless it's under the values of indexing, and you can't participate in the downsides. You only participate in the upsides. So as long as you're able to compound interest and participate in the upsides and never the downsides, calling it zero is your hero. If you use that formula, then you can't lose. So go ahead, John.
Well, I'm going to say it depends, and it depends on your age.
That too.
If you're 25 years old, you
That
definitely need
part
to
too.
put money
Yeah.
in the market.
He's correct, right, ladies and gentlemen?
Right? So there's a general rule, and they've upped it. It's called the rule of 110. The rule of 110 says take whatever age you are. So if you're 50, and let's just say hypothetically you have $100,000 and you want to do something. Well, what you do, you subtract from 110.50, that leaves you with 60. No more than 60% should go in the market based on that rule. So you can go in the market with 60% of the money, and then you have 40% of the money that's what? Needs to be safe. The older you get, the more safety you need.
That's right. Yeah.
The insurance carriers that we represent, they won't allow, if you have $100,000 and that's all you have, they won't let us take, even though if you wanted it, they wouldn't let you take your $100,000 and put it all in one place. So you have to have 6 months of liquid assets. You have to have a certain amount of income. It depends on what your disposable income is. So we take a very holistic view when we deal with the prospects that we do.
Well, that doesn't mean that if you don't have 6 months of savings either, there are opportunities for you to still work with us. So don't misfire on that. But he is right that the companies are very strategic about allowing people to work with us. They are, there's a lot of laws these days to protect you from scandalous people out there that want to move your money into places that just don't work. They are fee-based. So the individual putting the money in actually outperforms you, so be safe, be careful, watch what you're doing, do your homework, and allow us an opportunity to work with you side by side in your life and your family's life.
I'll tell you one simple thing that Jason and John explained it perfectly. But if you want to invest something, invest in Shield. That's what I would say. That would be one of the best things.
At least invest the time in the Shield, right? Give us an opportunity to
John
speak.
will love you crazy. He can give you his McLaren after 7 years to drive it for a week. Maybe.
John's got another McLaren. Don't tell people that. He's just done it right since he was 25. That's what the secret is.
That's right. So next question is, how do I protect my retirement savings during market volatility like COVID?
Well, there's not much if you're in the market, there's not much you can do about it. So it just depends. Again, we're talking about diversification, folks. But what the market does is it tells you about diversification. And so you have all your money that's diversified in the market. That's not the issue. It's the asset classes you have. You have to have the proper asset classes, the blends. Some people have all their money in real estate where there's a danger there. Some people have all their money in the market.
Yeah.
They're allowing themselves to have a gun to their head by the IRS, and they can lose money anytime, and you're going to pay taxes on every dollar you put out. A 401k is not, it's a tax shelter, but it's like a tax bomb because you're saving money on taxes today, but all you're doing is delaying. So I think you should all ask yourself the question, when you retire, most people think they're going to be in a lower tax bracket. If you're in a lower tax bracket when you retire, you bought the swan song. You bought into it because you're making less money than when you were working. Think about that for folks. When you retired, you want to retire with less money than you're working with or more. So what they told you, put the money in, save money on taxes. But I want to reference a period of time, Jason and Harsh, 1933 to 1980.
Yeah.
47 years. Google it. What were the highest tax rates during 1933 to 1980? And you'll see that for 20 years, almost 90% was the rate. So we're in a tax cycle. Right now, believe it, ladies and gentlemen, your taxes are low. You might not think that, but it's historically low for years. So it's like a cycle. If you look at the taxes started in 1913 to now, that's 113 years, folks. Just like anything else.
The highest in U.S. history was 1944. 1945 was 94%.
94%. Have you ever heard of Ronald Reagan, folks? check this out. It's amazing. Ronald Reagan only made 2 movies in 1 year. He never made a third movie in 1 year because he would have been in the 94% tax bracket. He got paid $100,000 per movie. You add the 2 movies together, that's $200,000, and at $201,000, that dollar would have been taxed at 94%. What if you're taking something called RMDs? That's a whole nother subject. If you're having RMDs and it pushes you up to the highest tax rate, you're getting taxed at 37%. But what's going to happen if they raise the taxes back to 1944 and you're in the highest rate? You have no control, folks. You can't control loss. You can't control taxes. You can't control inflation. And it's your retirement. Think about that, folks. It's your retirement. You can't control it. What we do here is show you how to control stuff and give you the options and the diversification, at least the education.
All right, great. Now, Harsh, how many do we have multiple questions on here? I don't want to miss anybody, so I want to fire through these too.
Yeah, we have questions like.
All right, let's make sure that we help a lot of people out. Okay, so let's get them. We'll bang them out, and we'll get them keep short and sweet. We've been talking a lot. I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to get their questions answered.
Should I work part-time after retiring, or should I relax on my couch?
Well, I love this question. I mean, because I would say just go ahead and relax on your couch. You know, I mean, that's the dream come true. I'm going to tell you that's what I'm going to tell you to do. But did you do it right? Did you do it right? What is your age today? What are you doing to save money in a compounding interest? What are your returns have been historically? Now, I want to know what your returns have been told to you that they've been historically from your broker. And then I would like to know you to get a review from all brokers that anybody is working with. And I want you to eliminate this from your conscience and know what the fees are. So go get a strategic sheet of paper out there and tell me this. Can you do the math? If the problem I've seen with people retiring, and I'd love to say stay on the couch, but I don't know enough about your solution scenario to help you stay on the couch. But at the end of the day, I've helped people do the math. And when I do the math, it is utterly absurd that they didn't figure out to do the math early. They've trusted their companies to invest their money into these 401ks, 403bs, TSPs, TSAs, and things like that, and all this funky language that they use out there for retirement products. And you trust them with your money. But in the reality is at the end, it's just never enough. I've not seen many scenarios where it's enough. Now, when I say that, I haven't gotten far enough with clients that still have 20 years left, 30 years left, even 10 years left on this earth in retirement to tell if they've had enough. Because like John was saying, the taxation on money can boost, and then we don't know what you'll be at with your required minimum distributions. And you know, for the future of individuals that are a lot younger, I don't know the answer, John, to whether Social Security will be around or not. I assume it will be, but it is a scary thing that they can't control the fact that they can take it off the table.
Well, I'm going to tell you my personal opinion here because I've lived the 40 years from when I was 25 years old. So I've experienced, you know what I told people, Jason, when I was 25 years old entering this business?
You were going to be a millionaire.
No, I said, Social Security, you're probably not going to be there. That was the bunch of baloney, I believe, from the industry. I'm going to tell you my prediction. And again, I'm just one of many people that's been here a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen it all. I've lived it all. Now, I personally will never retire because I love what I do. I will die on the job, but I will die on the job doing what I love to do.
Yes.
But in the time that I want to commit. I feel I'm already retired because I work when I want to work and I play when I want to play. That's retirement to me. Okay. But to answer the Social Security thing, I think Social Security will never go away.
Okay. I don't either. I don't. I just think it's kind of intimidating that they could. No, they couldn't do that to us.
Don't let the financial advisors scare you.
Right. Yeah.
It'll never go away. But
Well, you
what's
know what?
going to
I just
happen
take that.
is,
I do that, John, and just tell people. I try to scare people into the fact that they could control doing that, but at the after effect is save like they will. You know what I mean? You know,
and here's
save like
something
they
I've
will.
learned also, folks. It's not about interest rates. It's about taxation. If you don't get taxation under control, it doesn't matter what your interest rate is.
Isn't that crazy that everybody's trying to learn how to save money instead of learning about how to avoid taxation on the money?
That's what the Shield does. Everything we do with the Shield, everything is tax-free. Everything is risk-free.
It's incredible what you get out of it too. Like when people are just with us and they get these and they get the strategies from us and then they start coming back and every year they're satisfied. They continue to give us referrals and the business keeps growing because we're doing the right thing. We're absolutely doing the right thing. And there's not a stockbroker alive. There's not an investor alive that can tell us that we're doing it wrong. There's not a tax person who's telling us we are doing it wrong. We're doing it right. And Americans need to get a catch on real fast. The youth, the baby boomers, and the extremists of retirees within the realms of 70 to 80, jump on board. Protect your money and enjoy your retirement. Have a good time. And leave a
And
legacy if you can, too.
that's really a great one, guys. Both of you clappings. And
Thank you.
there is one thing this guy Oliver is saying that, hi John, I just saw the YouTube channel of Financial Shield and I'm seeing the guys who are creating your group meetings and creating the videos about the retirement plans and everything. I've subscribed to the channel. I like it. And he's telling that, Jason, what should I do? Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I am 54 years old now. What should I do? I should start saving right now, or how should I start my retirement plan?
Again, I would answer that by give us a call and let us talk to you.
I was going there too. The only thing I can do with that, Harsh, is give you the interest of, like John said, just communicating with us for that session that I will spend with you and or John will allow you to open up doors that you didn't know existed into worlds of strategies that that are on this earth made for individuals at your age bracket, and John has the keys to the door to open the door so your retirement is based upon small increments of time, long increments of time with short increments of cash deposited in, and you can have one hell of a great retirement plan put together while you have access to your cash. And God forbid you get cancer, heart attack, or stroke, or you're hospitalized, you can fund your way out of it to a healthier you. You know, you need to watch out. I've had cancer patients that needed to fly out of the state to go to specialists, and that they were in a situation where they had to spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to do so. I've had people with heart issues that had to fly out. My mother was one of them, 4 heart attacks. And thank God that policy covered her during that time to fund that journey when she was out of work. Because they would have lost the house. They would have lost everything. Guys, you got a lot of investments. That house is important to hold on to. That's one of the largest legacies you'll leave behind. And you better start putting things together. And by doing so, you can have your dreams come true by relaxing and not participating in the volatility and only participating in the upsides of the market. And you will sleep better at night.
The majority of people in America don't have what's called an estate plan.
At all.
Well, if you're starting at 54, you may not have much of an estate because you're talking at 54. You know, the harsh reality, no pun intended, Harsh.
No pun.
The harsh reality is, you know, you're going to have to work until a minimum of 70. And at $25 a month, savings isn't going to get you where you need to get. So you have a real serious issue if you're starting to save for retirement at 54, and you really need us.
Yeah, what would stop you from communicating with us? Why would you? Why I'm going to ask you to communicate. If you're commenting on the YouTube channel, please take the next step and allow us to work hard for you. All right, let
You
us
can
do our
find
job.
you can
Go ahead,
find
Josh.
information for Jason, and I'll add the email of John as well, and the phone number of Jason also is in the description, guys. If you want, on this video, you can see the description below. Just click on that, you will find
Gabriel,
it.
would you put it in the comment again? I know I'm a stickler. I know people will get lazy. They don't look in the descriptions. They like it in the comments. You know what I mean? Boom.
He will put it over there. Okay, fine. I'll make
You
sure
know
he
what I'm
puts over
saying?
there, and
Maybe put
I'll
the
make sure.
gator mouth in there too. Show them a little something. Maybe go to my YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel in there.
Yeah,
All right,
for
let's
sure.
fire some questions off. Let's get these guys their answers.
Well,
Let's get
instead of
it.
Let's.
going to a long explanation, let's just get yes or no's, or because we don't have much time left. So
That's right. That's actually true because that's what it is. The question is related to investment over here. Is that should I invest in stocks right now to make sure my retirement goes smoothly?
How old are you?
I don't know.
Okay,
He's
so I know. He's like,
we
I
don't,
don't know.
we don't, I can't answer that question because all I've been talking about for the last hour is diversification, tax
yes.
diversification, and asset class diversification, and risk
How
diversification.
about this? How about investing into the stock market in a way where you don't participate in the volatility of the market? That's what we do. So, yes, you should invest in the stock market, but we're going to do it in a manner of which you don't participate in the downsides. Imagine having all the benefits of the upsides and never participating in the downsides. Why would you
That's right.
not take advantage of that?
That's right. So here's one more question which comes at, hi Jason,
Hi,
I'm Tisa.
hi,
She
Tisa.
I'm not saying hi to you. Tisa is saying
I
hi to
know,
you,
I
right?
know. I'm saying hi, Tisa. I'm not saying hi to you.
Okay. And she's saying that I have never invested in my life and I don't have a retirement plan yet. So I'm planning to retire soon. So
Okay.
should I invest aggressively right now to make sure I retire better, or I
Yeah.
just leave everything to what it is?
Well,
That's
Tisa, thank you for your question. Thank you for being here today. I love having all you here. Yeah, Tisa, my suggestion is that again, we need to have a conversation to help you better. But yes, I would like to see you participate in something that you can fit into your budget without question. That is that disappearing money that just disappears from that check every single week that you don't miss. And it's the very first thing at the top of the list, aside from tithing, that you put into your business of putting money for your future away and providing yourself that it fits into your budget, it has compounding interest, that it's for life and death, and that it has a great taxation at the end to it, meaning that you don't participate in large tax payouts. Like, how about getting money tax free? How about that? How do you like those apples, guys? Can you retire better knowing that your money is tax free? So you can have strategies that are tax-free retirement, right? And that's part of what the Shield is providing is information on retirement, just like that. So give us a ring, give me a call, send me a text, put in an email, and communicate with us after this. And get on my schedule for next week, Tisa.
that would be much more perfect. Yes, that's right. And I see there was one, two questions over here. After that, let's see. Let's answer these two questions first. Okay, I don't see any other questions down here.
I'll keep
So
it
the
short and
question,
sweet from now on. Yeah,
yeah,
go
the
ahead.
question is, should I have power of attorney? That's it.
Go ahead, John. Short and sweet.
Well,
Should I have power of
John,
attorney
don't,
yeah,
these are
here's
nice
one of the
or
people.
things that we
estate
don't
planning?
do. We cannot give legal advice.
Yes.
We are not licensed to give legal advice. We can give you legal information, but we can't give
Should
you
you have
legal
power of
advice.
attorney being yeah, like if I
Or
was the
estate planning?
fiduciary of my grandmother's estate. So I had rights to control the money and be a part of what was needed to save to get her through the rest of the years that she was on this earth. So if you need access to the funds of somebody else, you want control, then yes, there's ways to do that though. So yes, let's contact us and we will provide. I have somebody for you if you need help.
Okay. The question is that, okay, I'll rephrase the question where how can I leave the money to my grandchildren's taxed effectively?
Well, that's an easy question. Most people don't know the structure of the insurance industry. An insurance-based product can do lots of things. You can leave all your money income tax free. You can place a sum of money for little grandson Johnny. So your grandpa Joe, and you're going to leave money for grandson Johnny. Well, there's a couple of ways. Most people put their money, whether it's in stocks, even a product called an annuity, which Jason offers. The problem that happens is if you do it in an annuity and you do it for 20 years, you have what's called gains, and you pay taxes on the gains first when you transfer that money. There's something called a modified endowment plan. A modified endowment plan will allow you to put a large sum of money, let's say that same 100,000, it will grow for 20 years, and then you pass away, or 10 years, and then that money is effectively given to your grandson income tax free.
This is a perfect example of the individuals that we constantly work with on a daily and weekly basis. So you are the ideal client to get prepared for leaving money behind. I actually applaud you for doing so. Not a lot of people are trying to leave legacies these days. They're just trying to take care of what they can survive on. So if you could do that, we could set up a lot of people that don't think that they're able to leave legacies behind. They actually can, but they're structured incorrectly with their market-based products, their stockbroker, their investment advisors, and things like that. So we want to structure you a lot better so you can leave a legacy behind. But I would love to speak to you. If you wouldn't mind contacting me, please get into my schedule for next week. And if John, I'll get you with me, and then I'll get you with John. And depending on the avenue of which you need to take, we'll do the best job we can. At least you know your options. Most importantly, you know your options. Okay.
That's perfect. And I just got a text from Gabriel that he's saying he has added John's calendar and Jason's calendar in the description as well. And he has put inside the comment as well. So, yeah.
Thank you. You guys are rock stars, man. Thank you guys for everything, guys. And I would really hope that we can talk to everybody that's been here. Even if you're a life insurance agent, you want more information on the Shield, and you want to participate in learning how to earn a lot of money, working with the Shield, then we have opportunities for agents. If you're, an American retiree and you want to learn some more on retirement, and you want to be able to be structured in a tax-free retirement structure of leaving money behind, or even living that lifestyle that you deserve, we can teach you so much. And it's pretty simple stuff. We're not going to bore you to death with things. I mean, we're really just right here, right there, and at boom, boom, boom. This is how it is, and this is how it works. But within it, it's so simply structured that we can actually explain it. Unlike you trying to learn what stocks your investors putting you in, and what they're doing, So it's a great formula for retirees.
That's
Works
right.
well.
Perfect. And we don't have any other questions right now. I can see you in the comments. That
We're
was the
at
last
9
question.
o'clock.
Yeah, it usually does well in an hour. So I want to thank everybody for coming. John, thank you for joining us today. I know it was early, buddy. Thank you so much for being here, man.
And I'm going
It's
to
been
end
an
the
honor.
live stream, guys. Don't leave this. Once I end it,
Yeah, well, let
don't
me add in one more thing. Please contact us when you need help for your retirement and you want to put a structured policy together for life insurance, and you need income for life, and you want to work on things for the next generation. Please contact us, and you have our information. But thank you for joining us today. We had a great time, and we'll see you next